The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council floated above the silver clouds of Varex Prime. Thousands of species gathered there every cycle to settle disputes, sign treaties, and judge the worth of rising civilizations. On that day, the attention of the chamber rested on humanity. The humans had only joined the galactic network 3 years earlier. Their technology was average, their fleets were small, and their worlds lacked the shining towers seen across richer systems. Many council members considered humans primitive creatures that had escaped extinction through luck alone. The council meeting had been arranged to discuss trade routes near the Orion Belt, but the topic shifted the moment the human ambassador entered with several young children. Soft laughter spread through the chamber. The children walked beside Ambassador Elias with wide eyes and curious faces. They carried small data pads and looked around with wonder at the glowing ceiling above them. Counselor Vec of the Rune species leaned forward with visible amusement. "So these are human offspring," he said. "Tiny and fragile." Several delegates laughed. Another counselor spoke from the upper seats. "They do not even possess natural armor. And no claws," another added. A reptilian delegate flicked his tongue and stared at the smallest child. One strike could end them. The chamber filled with mocking voices. Ambassador Elias remained calm. He guided the children toward their seats and answered without anger. "Human children are under the protection of all humanity." The statement caused another wave of laughter. Counselor Vec shook his large head. "Protection? You speak as if these little creatures matter to warriors." Elias looked directly at him. "They matter more than worlds." The laughter faded slightly after that. The children remained silent during the meeting. One small boy named Liam quietly drew pictures on his tablet, while a girl named Nora stared at the floating drones carrying council records. The youngest child, Milo, looked exhausted from the long journey and eventually fell asleep against the ambassador's arm. To many in the chamber, the sight looked weak. Predator species rarely displayed such tenderness. Most civilizations raised offspring and guarded colonies far from politics and danger. Bringing children into the council chamber appeared foolish. Yet none of the humans seemed ashamed. Hours later, the meeting ended. Delegates departed through glowing corridors while security drones scanned every exit. Elias prepared to escort the children back to the human vessel docked outside the station. That was when the alarms began. Red lights flashed across the hall. A mechanical voice echoed through the station. "Warning! Unauthorized boarding detected." The chamber froze. Council guards rushed toward tactical positions as screens lit up with images from the outer docks. Black ships had pierced the station perimeter and attached themselves to several entry ports. Pirates. Not ordinary raiders, but the Karth, a brutal faction feared across frontier systems. They attacked stations, stole technology, and sold captured civilians into slavery. Counselor Vec growled under his breath. How did they breach station defenses? Another explosion shook the structure. Smoke burst from the western corridor as armored figures stormed into the chamber carrying pulse rifles. Their leader wore dark battle armor decorated with crimson marks across the chest plate. The pirates opened fire instantly. Delegates screamed and scattered behind pillars. Guards returned fire while drones exploded in showers of sparks overhead. Ambassador Elias dropped beside the children and shielded them behind a stone platform. "Stay low," he ordered. Milo woke in panic while Nora grabbed his hand tightly. Across the chamber, Counselor Vec fought beside 2 guards before a blast struck his shoulder. The massive alien crashed against a wall with blood spreading across his armor. The pirate leader stepped forward through the smoke. "Everyone remains still," he announced. "The council treasury will be emptied. Resistance means death." One pirate suddenly spotted the children behind Elias. A cruel grin appeared beneath his helmet. "Well now," he said, "what do we have here?" He moved toward them. Ambassador Elias stood slowly. "Do not come closer." The pirate laughed. "Or what?" Elias repeated the warning with a colder voice. "Do not come closer." The pirate raised his rifle toward Liam. That single action changed everything. The human ambassador lunged forward with shocking speed. He slammed into the pirate hard enough to crack armor plating and drove him into the floor. The chamber stared in disbelief as Elias fought with savage force, striking again and again until the pirate stopped moving. The other raiders reacted instantly. "Kill him." Gunfire erupted toward Elias. Before the shots could land, another sound thundered through the chamber. A roar. Deep. Violent. Ancient. Every predator species in the room froze. From the eastern corridor burst a massive creature covered in dark gray fur with glowing eyes and curved fangs. It crashed into the pirates like a storm. The council recognized the species immediately. A Drell. The Drell were apex hunters from the dead moons of Karis. Entire military squads avoided direct combat with them. They rarely joined politics and almost never interfered in foreign conflicts. Yet this one attacked without hesitation. The Drell tore through two pirates before standing protectively in front of the human children. More roars followed. 3 additional predators entered the hall. A towering Varg with steel claws, a lean Sorn hunter with silver scales, and a black-armored Krell commander carrying an energy axe. The pirates suddenly looked terrified. Counselor Vec stared in disbelief. Why are they defending the humans? The answer came quickly. A pirate attempted to flank the children from the side. The Varg intercepted him instantly and smashed him into a pillar hard enough to shatter bone. No one touches the cubs, the Varg growled. The chamber went silent for half a second. Cubs. That single word changed the mood of the room. The predators fought with terrifying coordination. Every attack focused on protecting the children. The Drell remained near Milo and Nora while the Sorn covered the upper balconies with precise rifle fire. The pirate leader realized too late that the raid had become a massacre. He tried to retreat toward the corridor, but the Krell commander blocked his path. You threaten younglings, the commander said coldly. There will be no escape. The axe flashed once. The battle ended moments later. Smoke drifted across the ruined chamber while emergency crews rushed inside. The surviving pirates surrendered immediately upon seeing the predators standing beside the human children. Milo clung to Ambassador Elias while Liam stared at the Drell with amazement. You saved us, Liam whispered. The massive predator lowered his head carefully. No cub should face hunters. Council members slowly emerged from cover. Many looked shaken not by the attack itself, but by what they had witnessed. Counselor Vec approached Elias while medics treated his wounded shoulder. You fought like a cornered beast, Vec admitted. Elias looked down at the children. Humans become dangerous when their young are threatened. Vec glanced toward the predators still guarding the group. But why did they protect your offspring? The Drell answered before Elias could speak. Because humans protect theirs differently than any species we have known. The chamber listened closely. The Drell continued. 5 cycles ago, my ship crashed on a frozen moon. My injuries were severe. Most civilizations would have abandoned a dying predator. A human mining crew found me instead. The predator looked toward Milo. One of their young gave me food before the adults even arrived. Silence filled the hall. The Varg spoke next. Humans rescue weak young, even from enemy species. The Krell commander nodded once. They defend children before profit, rank, or survival. Many delegates exchanged uneasy looks. The Sorn hunter stepped forward and spoke with a sharp voice. Predators understand one truth above all others. Any species willing to sacrifice itself for its young possesses a strength greater than fear. Ambassador Elias remained quiet. He did not smile. He simply placed a hand on Milo's shoulder. The council slowly began to understand something they had failed to see since humanity arrived among the stars. Humanity was not feared because of weapons, not because of fleets, not because of technology. Humans were feared because of devotion. A species that loved its children with absolute loyalty could become unstoppable when threatened. The pirate attack had proven it. The predators knew this long before the council did. Counselor Vec lowered his head respectfully toward the children. No insult was intended, he said carefully. Elias met his eyes. You laughed at our young because they appeared weak. Vec gave a slow nod. The ambassador looked around the damaged chamber. Every human child carries the hopes of billions. We cross stars for them. We build worlds for them. We fight monsters for them. He paused briefly. And if necessary, we burn civilizations for them. No one laughed this time. Hours later, repairs began across the station. News of the attacks spread rapidly through galactic networks. But the greater story was not the failed pirate raid. It was the image captured by security drones. 4 terrifying predator species standing in a protective circle around sleeping human children. That image traveled farther than any council speech. Across distant systems, civilizations replayed the footage repeatedly. Analysts debated the meaning behind it, while military leaders studied human psychology with growing concern. The predators had spoken clearly through their actions. Human children were untouchable. Days later, the Galactic Council issued a new interstellar law declaring all juvenile life sacred during conflict. The proposal passed unanimously. No delegate dared oppose it. As for the human children, they returned home safely. Milo barely remembered the attack. Nora talked endlessly about the giant Drell, who carried her to safety. Liam kept the drawing he made during the council meeting. It showed humans and predators standing together beneath the stars. Ambassador Elias framed the picture inside the human embassy. Years later, visiting delegates would often stop and stare at it in silence. Because by then, the galaxy had learned a lesson no one wished to test again. Mock humanity if desired. Challenge their fleets if brave enough. But never threaten their children.